And I think this is where there's a different way of thinking about our power to make a difference. And one of the things I say is, well, if you can't make something happen, can you help it happen? And there's a real
Yes.
difference. So, for example, where you are, you're in North America and I'm in the north of Scotland. I can't make it happen that you switch on a light or switch on a light or switch off a light. But I could help it happen by asking you nicely. I could say, Carol, would you mind switching on the light or turning off the light? So I have influence, but I don't have control. I can't make it happen. I can't force or control you to do anything. You're outside my circle of control. And some people say just focus on your circle of control. And if it's outside that, then just don't worry about it. But actually, we live in a world that's interconnected where everything we do has ripples of influence that extend beyond us. And so just this shift from moving from, can I make it happen? I'm not hopeful about that. And if people feel they're not hopeful, they tend to kind of think, what's the point of thinking about that? That's a block. And so what we're
Yeah.
saying with active hope is that we need a different way of thinking about influence where we don't have this evaluation process. Am I hopeful? And if I am hopeful, then it's worth me spending time. But if I'm not hopeful, what's the point? That's a block. It's a psychological block. And we can change that block just by thinking differently about our power to make a difference. Where we start with, okay, and the 3 steps are start from where you are, facing what you face, feeling what you feel. And if you're doing that, then you're already doing step 1 of active hope. So if you feel miserable about what's going on in the world, thank goodness you've noticed. Thank goodness you
Uh-huh.
care. That's a positive thing that you've noticed, a positive thing that you care. It's much better that people feel anxiety and alarm about the danger that we're heading into rather than feel, oh, I'm fine, actually. I don't worry about that stuff because it's outside my circle of control. I can't do anything about it. That's the kind of thinking that just takes us over the edge of a cliff. Whereas if we say, okay, I am disturbed, I am alarmed, I have noticed, I do care, that's part 1. But then part 2 is, okay, of the many different ways it can go, what do I hope for? And then the 3rd step is to be active in support of your hope. And when you do that, you add meaningfulness to your life. You give your life a direction. And it can start to make sense in a world that feels horribly frightening and falling apart sometimes.